Hey guys, now we'll be reviewing Acropolis by RQM for the macro category of the TeamLiquid Map Contest 12. This map is beautiful. It is actually very pretty. It is based, obviously, as the name says, in the Athens Acropolis, I will imagine, especially because it is located in a high ground between with the city around it. The map is like especially pretty. Even though it is like very plain, like other map makers will obviously notice that, but it still has like a nice charm to it. I think it will be like push it even further probably. When it comes to the map itself, the first thing that pops to mind, it is obviously the very center of it, where you have very direct attack path. There were some games in the TeamLiquid map contest, in the TeamLiquid tournament by Wardy, where we saw some mech armies position themselves in the high ground and it being like a very serious hurdle, even though when in a couple games that made it to the high ground, and specifically to in a PVC where that situation happened, Acropolis still managed to go by, to not become like broken or anything. But personally, I would still recommend to add maybe a set of 6x6 rocks or something of the sort in this area, just in order to like avoid the risk of pushes through the center becoming like overly strong. That is like a very serious concern that I have in here. Maybe something like that. You all guys probably know that I am quite the sucker for this kind of setups. I love it teammate in order to add, for him to add this setup of rocks into Dreamcatcher to ICL, to do it to like a couple of his maps like years back, because I consider it to work like very well in order to like restrict pathing, but at the same time keep it interesting for the mid game, late game scenarios. So maybe, I'm not sure, that's up to like RQM. What I will recommend 100% is to probably remove the diagonal rocks and replace them by 6x6 ones, or maybe 4x4 ones, but something in here to just not outright remove the flanking option for armies in the very center of the map. Maybe even push further this ramp a little bit to the back, but that's tricky as well because it bites into another set of problems. Something like that. Maybe I'm not entirely sure. I will if you guys have like more concerns, RQM, if you would like more discussion about this, you could probably talk with Avex, but at least from my perspective, this is a concern in my case. This as well. Oh, I removed the rocks. Okay, something like that. They don't have to be like that, to blocking, to restricting everything, but to slightly to the side might work well enough. When it comes to this, the map has some very good games. There is what else? There are other concerns, specifically this one. The area in here is probably not big enough. Oh, what is it? El Secaro man-made. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry to do that. So just make it bigger. Make it bigger. Okay. Oops. Whoops. Sloppy. Okay. Something like that. In order to avoid cannon rush problems, just to avoid them, because it's something. It is a constant for like all of the maps that have small areas behind the natural bases. I'm not even sure this will get rid of it, but it will certainly help reduce it. Maybe I went slightly overboard. Something like that might work as well. Or maybe not. I'm not sure if a pylon can be placed in here and block it fully. Yeah. See, this is the risk of stuff. Whoops. Just hit the mic slightly. There. well, the units can still pass through it, but you see the point. Like even creating like this kind of situations, this kind of setups, it's like slightly problematic, slightly. So keep an eye out for that. What else? Usage of standard mineral lines. Standard mineral lines. I'm not sure if RQM did that or if we did it. I don't remember. But I hadn't seen this do that. Is one a composite? Yeah. Anyhow, that is such a good usage of it. Maybe more doodats around this, all of this area, around the back, especially now that the map is a finalist. Obviously, blocking all of this further as well, in order to avoid like this problem. And because remember that in WCS, casters can like zoom out the camera considerably, and we wouldn't want the stream to showcase like do that clipping that way. When it comes to the rest of the map, the center is like alright. I really like this rock though. Like this set of rocks with the do that in here, allowing for like an optional path, and the base at the corner. It reminds me of Frost by Semo, which was a very well achieved map. And this setup reminds me of the passages at 3 and 9 o'clock in the map. When it comes to this setup of bases is not particularly interesting at all, but it works well, especially for the macro category. So that's not something that I would like go ham on it. Also, I will indeed recommend to expand this area, the canvas of the map itself slightly, and add water in it, just in order to again avoid the problem of the edges of the map becoming visible once the camera is zoomed out by the in streams. When it comes to the rest of it, there is really, I don't have like any particularly strong problems with it. I think that this ramp leading to the third and to the natural is like particularly interesting and particularly well positioned. There could be like problems with siege tanks in here. Sorry for the doggos. There could be problems with siege tanks in here, but that's still not quite as much of a problem, at least from my perspective. Especially because you can like place stalkers and just like go ham on it. When it comes to the rest of it, the map really needs like a reaper path. I think that the only option here will be like to cut out all of this area and create like a very clearly outlined reaper pathing, because around this place not recommended, at least because everything is like so tidy in there. You can have like, you can just create a small cutout in here instead. Billboards. This area requires billboards and ads. It is a very perfect place to put them as well. More detail work, more asset placement, more doodads, and slightly more care to like detail work around the map. That is basically what I will recommend, because as it stands, it is like a very well set up map. It has like a good usage of overlord spots. Even the Selnaga towers in it are like fairly well positioned. Yeah, no, there is really not much that I can even mention, or that is worth mentioning, at least from my perspective. Hopefully I'm not missing anything too big. Oh, but the map is like, I consider it to be like a worthy finalist. Anyhow, guys, this has been Acropolis by RQM of the macro category for the TeamLiquid Map Contest 12 as a finalist. Take care, guys, and see you in the next map review.